Greetings students, welcome to English class. So in this class we are going to see Unit 2 poem Our Casuarina Tree book back answers. So shall we begin? Yes, let us see the first one. The first one, fill in the blanks choosing the words from the box given and complete the summary of the poem. So see that. So the options are given in here. Python, statue, nature, casement, nostalgic, lamenting, impressive, forgotten, giant, consecrates, springing, sanctified. So by using these options, you have to write you have to fill the blanks. So see that the first one, the casuarina tree is tall and strong with a creeper winding around it like a dash. So can you guess the answer? Answer is Python. Second one, the tree stands like a dash with a colorful scarf of flowers. Answer is giant. Third one, birds surround the garden and the sweet song of the bird is heard. The poet is delighted to see the casuarina tree through her dash. Casement. Fourth one, she sees a grey monkey sitting like a dash on the top of the tree, sitting like a statue. The cows grazing and the water lilies dash in the pond, springing in the pond. The poet feels that the tree is dear to her not for its dash appearance, but not for its impressive appearance, but for the dash memories of her happy childhood that it brings to her. Answer is nostalgic memories. Eighth one, she strongly believes that dash communicates with human beings. Answer is nature. The poet could communicate with the tree even when she was in a far off land, as he could hear the tree dash her absence. Answer is lamenting her absence. Tenth one, the poet dashed the tree's memory to her loved ones who are not alive. Consecrates. 11th one, she immortalizes the tree through her poem, like the poet Wordsworth, who dashed the yew tree of Borrowdale in verse. Sanctified. And 12th one, she expresses her wish that the tree should be remembered out of love and not just because it cannot be forgotten. And the next thing, based on your understanding of the poem, answer the following questions in one or two sentences each. The first one, what is the creeper compared to? The answer is, the creeper is compared to a python. Second question, how does the creeper appear on the tree? Answer is, the creeper is winding the trunk of the casuarina tree round and round. It embraces the tree very tightly. And the next thing, describe the garden during the night. During the night, the garden is filled with an endless song. It is sung from the dark side of the garden. D question, how does the poet spend her winter? The poet spends her winter watching the baboon that sits like a statue on top of the tree. Its offsprings run and play in the lower branches, the cows grazing and the water lilies springing in the pond. And the next thing, name the bird that sings in the poet's garden. Here you can see the bird's picture. Kokila is a type of bird similar to the cuckoo that sings in the poet's garden. Next one, why is the casuarina tree dear to the poet's heart? Answer is, the casuarina tree is dear to the poet's heart not only for its impressive appearance but also for the nostalgic memories of her happy childhood that it brings to her. And next one, does nature communicate with human beings? Yes, nature communicates with human beings. Next one, what has Wordsworth sanctified in his poem? Wordsworth has sanctified the yew tree of Borrowdale Valley in his poem. To whom does Tarudat want to consecrate the tree's memory? Tarudat wants to consecrate the tree's memory to her beloved ones who are not alive. And the next one, the casernut tree will be remembered forever. Why? The casernut tree will be remembered forever because the poet expresses her wish that the tree should be remembered out of love and not just because it cannot be forgotten. And next one, third one, read the lines given below and answer the questions that follow. See the poetic lines. A creeper climbs in whose embraces bound no other tree could live. So the first question, which tree is referred to in the above lines? Casernut tree is referred to in the above lines. Second question, how does the tree survive the tight hold of the creeper? The tree survives the tight hold of the creeper because the tree is very strong. The next one, why does Torudet use the expression a creeper climbs? The creeper is winding the tree upwards round and round. So only she uses the phrase a creeper climbs. Then, so Torudet uses the expression a creeper climbs. Then next one, B. The giant wears the scarf and the flowers are hung in crimson clusters, all the bow aman. So these are poetic lines. First question, who is the giant here? The casnut tree is the giant here. And the second question is, why is the scarf colorful? Answer is, here the scarf refers to the winding creeper's flowers, which are red in color. They are colorful. Okay. Next one. See the poetic line. Fear, trembling, hope, and death the skeleton, and time the shadow, and though weak the verse, that would thy beauty feign, O fine rigors. May love defend tree from oblivion's curse. First question. What does the poet mean by the expression, may love defend thee from oblivion's curse? Answer is, here oblivion's curse means the curse of forgetfulness. The tree should be remembered out of love and not just because it cannot be forgotten. Second question, what does the expression feign convey? The expression feign conveys the eagerness of the poet or the poem. Next one, what does the poet convey through the expression fear, trembling, hope? The poet conveys her human state of mind through the expression fear, trembling, hope. Next one, explain the following lines with reference to the context. That means ERC. See the poetic lines. Dear is the Casuarina to my soul. So context. The above line is taken from the poem Our Casuarina Tree written by Torudet. Explanation. The poet says that the Casuarina tree is very dear to the poet's heart, not only for its impressive appearance, but also for the nostalgic memories of her happy childhood that it brings to her. Comment. The poet expresses her love to the Casuarina tree. And the next one, see the poetic line. It is the tree's lament and airy speech. Context. The above line is taken from the poem Our Casuarina Tree written by Torudet. Explanation. The poet strongly believes that nature communicates with human beings. The poet could communicate with a tree even when she was in a far off land, as she could hear the tree lamenting her absence. Comment. The poet personifies the tree and believes that it laments over her absence. And the next one. Unto thy honor, tree beloved of those who now in blessed sleep for a repose. So context, the above lines are taken from the poem Our Casuarina Tree written by Torudet. So explanation, the poet sanctifies the tree. He consecrates the tree's memory to her loved ones, but they are not alive. He praises the a tree that it is so lovable to both living and dead. Comment: the poet says that the tree is so dear to everyone. The next thing, identify the figures of speech used in each of the extracts given below and write down the answer in the space given below. The first one is done for you. So, like a huge python winding round and round. So, here zoomorphism is used or simile is used. So, the word like is simile. So, zoomorphism means here the tree's physique is compared with the animal. So, animal that is python. So, the tree's look is compared with the python. So, this technique is known as zoomorphism. Okay, if a thing is compared with a movement or if the thing is compared with the animal, the technique is known as zoomorphism. And next one, the rugged trunk indented deep with scars, a creeper climbs in whose embraces bound. So a creeper climbs, that is alliteration. Both have the same startings in consonant C, C. And the next one, no other tree could live, but gallantly the giant wears the scarf and the flowers are hung. So it is a personification because here the tree is compared with a giant. The tree is known as a giant because of its tallness. It is known as a giant because of its gigantic look. The poet says the tree as a giant. So it is personified here. So this line is known as a personified line. And the next one, a grey baboon sits statue like alone. So the word like is used. So simile. Next one, the water lilies spring like snow enmassed. The same simile. What is that dirge like murmur that I hear? So it's a personification and also simile. Like the sea breaking on a shingle beach. The word like, so because of that reason, it is simile. And the next one, describe the reminiscence of the poet when she sees the casuarina tree. Answer: the casuarina tree is tall and strong with a creeper winding round and around it like a python. The tree stands like a giant with a colorful scarf of flowers. Birds surround the garden during the daytime. The sweet song of the birds is heard at night. The poet is delighted to see the casuarina tree through her casement. The poet spends her winter watching the baboon sitting on the top of the tree. Its offspring leaps and plays among the boughs of the tree. The cows are grazing and the water lilies are springing in the pond. The casuarina tree is dear to the poet's heart, not only for its impressive appearance, but also for bringing the nostalgic memories of her happy childhood. The poetess could communicate with the tree even when she was in far off land. She could hear the tree laments in her absence. She immortalizes the tree through her poem, like the poet Wordsworth, who sanctified the yew tree of Borrowdale Valley in his poem. She expresses her wish that the tree should be remembered out of love and not just because it cannot be forgotten. And the next one, how does nature communicate with the poet? See the answer. The chestnut tree is dear to poet's heart not only for its impressive appearance but also for the nostalgic memories of her happy childhood that it brings to her. She strongly believes that the nature communicates with the human beings. The poet could communicate with the tree even when she was in a far off land, as she could hear the tree lamenting over her absence. The poet consecrates the tree's memory to her beloved ones who are not alive. She immortalizes the tree through her poem, like the poet Wordsworth, who sanctified the yew tree of Borrowdale Valley in his poem. She expresses her wish that the tree should be remembered out of love and not just because it cannot be forgotten. And the next thing, the poet immortalizes the tree. Elucidate. The chestnut tree is dear to the poet's heart not only for its impressive appearance but also for the nostalgic memories of her happy childhood that it brings to her. She strongly believes that nature communicates with human beings. The poetess could communicate with the tree even when she was in a far off land. She could hear the tree lamenting her absence. The poetess consecrates the tree's memory to her loved ones who are not alive. She loves them above all. For their sake, she immortalizes the tree through this poem, like the poet Wordsworth, who sanctified the yew tree of Borrowdale Valley in his poem. She expresses her wish that the tree should be remembered out of love and not just because it cannot be forgotten. And the next one. So, figures of speech, extra figures of speech which are not mentioned in the book. See the poetic line, and far and near Kokilas hail the day, and to their pastures wend our sleepy cows, and in the shadow on the broad tank cast. Look at the all the three lines starting. All of them have the same startings and. Okay, so this technique is known as anaphora. If a word is repeated at the beginning of every sentence, it is known as anaphora. And next one, O sweet companions, thy form, O tree, as in my happy prime. So here the poet used an expression through the word, sorry, through the letter O. Okay, so this here it doesn't have any meaning, but it expresses a feeling. That means it expresses the sad feeling of the poetess. So this technique is known as onomatopoeia. When the sounding words are used in a poem, that is known as onomatopoeia in a poem. So follow up. Study and write the following paragraph. Describe the reminiscences of the poet when she sees the Casuarina tree. So you have to study this paragraph and write it, and don't forget to send this homework to the WhatsApp number. So thank you. Thank you for listening. Let us meet in the next class.